Returning now to our breaking news, former RCMP intelligence official Cameron Ortis has been sentenced to 14 years in prison. Let's go live now to the court where CTV's Judy Trinh is standing by with this breaking news. And Judy, what's the latest on the reasons for that sentence?
Roger, the sentence is much less than what the Crown wanted. It was seeking a maximum of 28 years for what it called the gravity of the situation. They contend that Cameron Ortis was basically leaking operational information and putting the lives of a potential undercover operator at risk. And he was leaking this information to individuals associated with organized crime, terror organizations, and drug cartels. So what the judge took into consideration. This is also much more than what the defense was seeking. The defense only wanted 7 years, but the judge said that he's taking into consideration the gravity of the case, but also time served. Cameron Ortis spent 3 years in pretrial custody in COVID conditions. He spent much of that time in isolation, and he also spent 1 more year under house arrest waiting for trial. So the judge credited Cameron Ortis with twice the time in regards to the time pretrial custody and half the time related to house arrest. So in his calculations and weighing what he considered a just and fair sentence, this was what he came to, 14 years. So what we know right now, Roger, is that there will be an appeal immediately. The paperwork has already been submitted to the Court of Appeal, and now a date has yet to be set. But Cameron Ortis's lawyers will be seeking bail.
What are they hoping to win with the appeal? What is their argument for that?
We haven't seen the full documentation in regards to the appeal, but what his lawyer has told us as he was walking in, that he's going to appeal the case on several grounds. I need to point out to you that it is very hard to win or to reverse a decision made by a jury on appeal, and that's because the jury does not have to make public the reasons why they arrived at the decision. So we don't know what they're going, they can't appeal the verdict from the jurors. So what they are going to look at is they're going to look at whether or not the judge made any questionable decisions during when he gave instructions to the jury. They could argue that. They also plan to argue that before this trial started, one of the things that happened was that the lawyers they took this case and said that Cameron Ortis's charter rights were in breach. They lost that. They attempted originally to have the case thrown out because his charter rights were going to be violated. And the premise of that was that there was so much information that they could not give to the public. They could not present before the judge because of national security issues. The defense has always contended in this case that that Cameron Ortis was actually authorized to do what he did by a foreign entity, but they could not name the foreign entity because of national security concerns. So if they can't name that foreign entity, and if they can't present evidence in full, how can their client get a fair trial? So that will be part of the premise of their appeal. Roger.
Okay. CTV's Judy Trinh, thank you for that update.